Hello and welcome to another video on updates from the farm. Today is 2nd October 2024. It's Gandhi Jayanti Day, holiday for me, so I managed to come here. The time is about 2:30. It's very hot. Things are very dry inside. I'll show them to you in a minute. But the good news is there's a lot of progress on the power. So we managed to get these power lines inside the farm. They are live. They have power in it. We've got these poles installed, these wires, and there's one more pole at the corner of this road. All that was done. The electricity board people took about 2 days to finish. Some 13 people had worked together, and as always there has been some issues with the neighbors who complained saying we can't take the power from their transformer and things like that. But obviously these transformers do not belong to anybody really. The circle inspector, the junior engineer, they all sort of try to manage the things, and I'm not seeing any issues right now though. Although I was not there physically here, I kept in touch with all of them over phone, and that was a bit difficult. And these problems are a little hard to solve over the phone, but somehow we managed to come out of it. So now that the power has come all the way here, I'm told it may not take much time from this point to get the actual service connection. So we've got all the borewell motor and all the materials. So we've got the 5 HP motor with 50 stage. Then we have these 4 square mm wires. Ashirwad, I think Supreme. We got 1¼ inch Supreme pipes. I guess they are UPVC pipes. So they're all here lying there right now, as you can see them. Just waiting for the person to come and install the motor. They're trying to dig a kind of a line next to the borewell just to safeguard the wires. So the plan is we'll dig like a trench for about 2 feet depth all the way to the starting of the house, and inside the house we will have these panel board and other things. So I'll try and do a separate video on borewell motor cost and other things, but roughly all this material here right now is worth about 1.5 lakhs. Updates on the infrastructure. The cow shed is almost ready. I think they're just trying to finish off the roof portion. As you see, the gray line there is the roof line, and above that we've done 3 rows of blocks, and on top of that we may end up doing these grills like made of MS iron, all the railings, which we will have to do separately, the railings, and then some sort of protection for the water tank, water sump. All that needs to be done separately, and a ladder maybe. We will plan that separately. Now onto the field. I don't have a nice news to share. All the work that we did on the groundnut side is probably going away in vain. Unfortunately, there has been no rain, and we were completely dependent on rain for these groundnuts. Although they appear a bit brownish green in color, they are really dry right now, and I have a feeling they may not be able to survive from this point in time. Even if it rains heavily, I don't have a lot of hopes. So I guess we will have to let it go this time. On the positive side, we could use it as a green manure, obviously, but apart from that I don't have any hopes to get any yield from groundnuts. Same is the story on ragi. The foxtail millet saplings, as you see, they're already dry. They're looking like dry grass right now, so we can't do anything from there. So we can't transplant. There's been absolutely no rain, although it drizzled a little bit yesterday evening. It's just nowhere close to being sufficient. So we have to reset the whole thing and resume working. And on the positive side, we managed to clear all the rocks other than these 2 bits, which we have left them alone. Kids also wanted them to play, and I also think it's nice to have these sort of rocks. Hopefully there will be a lot of trees around them, but it's nice to have 1 or 2 rocks like these. But as you see here, all these rocks are clear. There has been a lot of rocks and huge boulders laying all over. They're all clear now. There's absolutely no trace of them. We've just managed to put in a lot of soil on top of it just for leveling. So we took away all those rocks, used those gunpowders and bombed them a little bit, broken them, and then dug huge pits right in the middle of these internal roads and buried them. You'll also recollect there were many rocks on the boundary. I mean, this side there were so many rocks. There were rocks at the end. All of them are now buried under the soil right here. So all the rock clearing work is done. So altogether the clearing of rocks costed me about 75 to 80 hours. That's about 80,000 rupees plus one more day for leveling with a couple of tractors and one more JCB. Almost full day work, again worth about 15 to 16k. So net I think we've spent about lakh and a 10 for just during this time to clear all the rocks and level the soil. Now the reason why we have these heaps of soil is just to make sure that after it rains, hopefully heavily in some time, all these rocks that are beneath the soil, I'm just thinking they'll swallow the topsoil a little bit, or maybe even a little deeper, and there will be all these gaps between the rocks that will get filled when it rains. So I'm thinking this road will really go down. I'm not sure to what extent, but we've just wanted to make sure that we have this soil to just fill it back once the soil goes deep inside. Otherwise, it's just looking very dry right now. The cow fodder is also dry. Again, not lush green, but they're not fully dry though. And I don't think it's a problem even if these things dry out. We can use it as dry fodder for the cows. Yeah. So here's a quick view of everything. And here's where we used to have a lot of rocks. You will recollect. All that is gone now. All right. I hope you found this update useful. Get a sense of what's going on here. Next steps is just to finish off remaining work at the labor house and the cow shed, mainly things like flooring and a bit of plumbing, electrical work, and then finish off the borewell setup. Hopefully today. I'm just waiting for the person to come and maybe take a domestic connection, and then we can start preparing for the drip irrigation setup. Like I think we'll need to plan out, chart out a plan with main lines, sub lines, where the drip networks will get connected. All that needs to be planned out. That will probably be the next step. And in parallel, if we have good source of water, then it's also possible that it could attract some elephants from near the forest. So we will need to do the solar setup, the solar fencing on top of the existing mesh frames. Okay, that's all I had today. I will keep you posted on a different video shortly. Bye.